So question number 1 is, what is your name? Question number 2, where are you from? 3, where do you live and what do you do? 4, how long have you lived abroad? 5, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your life abroad, your job, your relationships, etc.? 6, do you foresee normality anytime soon? And 7, any advice for travelers or anyone interested in moving abroad in the near future? So, I'll start with question number 1 and 2. My name is Alexis. I am... This is always a hard question for me. I am an Army brat, so shout out to all my military brats out there. I know for those of us who really grew up in the military lifestyle, it's always a hard question to answer. I was born in Monroe, Louisiana, but I moved, I believe, in 2nd grade to Texas, and then Germany, and then Texas, and then Germany, and then Texas. So for me, I just normally tell people I'm from Texas. Texas is home. I'm a Texas girl through and through. I love everything about the state of Texas, but my roots are in Louisiana. Go Saints, who dat? So that's where I'm from. Okay, question number 3. Where do you live and what do you do? I currently live in Hanoi, Vietnam. Did she ask how long have I lived here? That's the next question, actually. And what do I do? I am an entrepreneur. I have a small online business, and I'm also a lash artist. So here in Vietnam, I have my own lash business. I take clients at my home studio. Most of my clients are expats. I do have a few Vietnamese clients. And I travel as much as possible. So that's what I do. How long have you lived abroad? I have been living this time abroad here in Vietnam for 21 months. I moved here July of 2018. And I can't even believe it's been 2 years. When I first moved over here, I just was like, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Vietnam. That's where I'm moving. You know, I had made the decision really randomly. And in my mind, I said I would give it 6 months. 6 months came. I said I would give it a year. A year came, and I have been having the time of my life here. And so here we go. It's almost 2 years, y'all. Child, I've been in Vietnam for almost 2 years. Look at God. Okay. The next question, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your life abroad, job, relationships? So, I'm going to say, as far as my job, honestly, I just kind of chill over here, being my own boss. You know, I can take clients whenever I want to. My clients here kind of know I do travel every 30 to 40 days. So I try to get them in when I'm in the country. Then I'm gone for about a week and a half, and then I come back. So for me, the pandemic has affected travel. I was just in Myanmar. Myanmar was the last country I went to, country number 35, 34, 35. I think country number 35. And while I was there, I'm just trying to check Instagram, 35 countries. But while I was there, I started seeing that the virus was getting a little bit more serious. I'm in a couple expat groups on Facebook, and one of those groups is called Hanoi Beautiful. It is a group to the ladies that live in Hanoi, or ladies who are those who identify as women. And I started seeing like girls say, oh no, someone just came back. She has the virus. They're about to shut Hanoi down. And I'm in Myanmar like, y'all got to be playing with me. No, I just left. Everything was cool. We knew about the virus, but you know, we just thought it had to do with the bad. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, as I was saying, as far as the virus, I thought it was just kind of isolated to China. We did know that some people were getting it in other countries, but I just really didn't think at the time that it would get this serious. Before I went to Myanmar, I was a little nervous because we were hearing rumors that some countries were going to start closing down. But I was just like, you know what? I'm getting ready to leave Vietnam soon. I really want to get to Myanmar. I also wanted to get to the Philippines, but I went ahead and went to Myanmar. And long story short, I had a wonderful time, but I had to cut my trip short because Vietnam absolutely went ahead and stopped letting European passport holders into the country, but they had not yet stopped U.S. American passport holders. So I was going back and forth with a visa agent here, and I'm like, yo, do you think I could stay in Myanmar like 3-4 more days, or should I come? And the lady basically told me, just come back ASAP, because we do not know when they're going to close the country down. If you look on my Instagram story that says Mandalay, it kind of shows how nervous I was about coming back, but they did let me back into the country. And so as far as relationships, I have friends here, associates here, great people that I have met while I've been here. And just unfortunately, even some of my lash clients, I guess I can talk about that part of how it has affected my job. Most of my lash clients are expats, so they're foreigners. They're either from some country in Europe or South Africa, America, just anywhere, Canada. And a lot of us were faced with that decision of, should we stay here in Hanoi or should we go back to our home countries? One of my first and most loyal lash clients, she went ahead and went back to the States. A lot of my clients went back home. So as far as just lash work, it has went down drastically. But as of right now, I'm not taking any clients because the Prime Minister did ask that we go ahead and respect social distancing. So that's just how it's really affected me in that aspect, because I can't travel. Right now I'm not doing lashes. I'm just in the house looking how I'm looking, y'all. That's just what I'm doing. Okay. Do you foresee normality anytime soon? I will say, for here in Vietnam, I made the decision to stay in Hanoi because after I saw how people was acting in the States with the tissue, I felt a little more safe over here. When I rushed back from Myanmar, I got here, I was like, the next day, I gotta get to the grocery store, I gotta get some tissue, I gotta get grocery, ain't gonna be nothing on the shelf. Y'all, I went in the store. It was like 5 people in there. Everything was fully stocked. So I let the States get my mind all jacked up, and stuff just been really chill and normal here in Vietnam. And so when it comes to healthcare here, the healthcare system is decent, pretty good. I'm not gonna say decent. It is very good in the aspect that I can literally go in there and get everything from an x-ray, MRI, a biopsy, and walk out and probably not even reach a $200 bill. So I know that if something does happen to me and I have to go to the hospital, I will be taken care of. And although I have insurance, I can just pay out of pocket and I will be fine. I just did not like the way America was handling the virus. And at the time, our president was still not even accepting the fact that this was very much so a real thing. So I made the decision to stay here. Do I foresee it becoming back to normal anytime soon? I would say for Hanoi, possibly so. I really do hope by the end of this month, which is April, that things are slowly getting back to normal. Hanoi, up until 3 days ago, although we were told to kind of isolate and practice social distancing, some of the restaurants were still closed, but things are still pretty normal. And now that the Prime Minister has put out that we have to stay in as much as possible and only go out if we're like buying food or something like that, now things are kind of like, okay, we got to take it more seriously. But I do think that Hanoi will get back to normal more sooner than later. Y'all, I just really don't know when. Baby girl is ready to get on a flight, y'all. I'm dying. Oh my God. Ain't this unreal? This is unreal. Okay, but anyway, in the seventh question is any advice for travelers or anyone interested in moving abroad in the near future? So, this is kind of my favorite topic. In short, the short answer to this is just do it. Okay? Nike, if you want to sponsor me. But no, seriously, guys. I believe that we know ourselves. We truly do know what's best for us, but we will find every problem in the universe to get us out of doing something that can like elevate our life, to make us much more happy, to just do things that are so great for ourselves, and we won't do it sometimes out of fear. When I decided to move to Vietnam, it was such a random and fast decision. It wasn't, I mean, I could tell my whole story, but I ain't gonna do that right now. But guys, it was not, oh, I'm a plan for a year, I'm a save up. No, I had some money in my savings. I was like, I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no man. I ain't really got no responsibilities. I could pay my bills from wherever. I'm getting the hell out of here. I got to go. So for me, being in the States, I was over America. Ovito. I was done. There was nothing that could keep me there. Had I stayed in America, I would have been doing myself a great injustice. So, my first piece of advice is do what is best for you. If it's in your head, if it's in your heart, if you dreamt about it, if you're like me and you got on YouTube and you've seen these videos of people living abroad and traveling and just having the time of their life, and if you even for a second thought, yo, this looks so dope, I can't believe someone is really doing that. You could be that person doing that. You literally could be that person. I have traveled my whole life. Even when I was living in the States, I traveled as much as possible. But I got tired of flying back to the States. Every time I left the States and came back, I just got more depressed. I did not want to have to go back. I didn't want to have to live there. I didn't want to have to just keep waking up and watching all the news that was making me sad. I didn't want to have to just keep living the rat race of America. I was just so over it. And so I just was like, you know what? I got to go. Period. Bought a ticket and left. Had no clue what to expect here. But here I am almost 2 years later, and it has been the best decision I have made for myself. Honestly, like in my life, I always say in a very long time, but I know maybe in 10, 15, 20 years, I'm going to look back on this particular chapter in my life and do nothing but smile and be so thankful that I did this for myself. So I hope it wasn't a loaded question, but yeah. So, but if you really are interested in it, start doing your research. Get on YouTube, pick a country in your head and Google expats living in Vietnam, expats living in Thailand, expats living in the Philippines. Just look at videos. Get yourself hype about it. Start envisioning yourself really living there. Start envisioning yourself packing and on the plane and just doing it. It is so much easier than you think, especially if you don't have many priorities. Now, if you're someone with kids and a family and bills and all of this, take some time, get that stuff in order, but write on a board. Put a note on your refrigerator in your room. But put a note on your refrigerator, in the bathroom, on the mirror. But put something that'll say, I am moving, this is where I'm moving to, this is when I'm moving, so that you can work towards that goal of leaving. I do know people here who say, you know, they saved up for a year and they saved up enough to be able to live in Hanoi for a year without having to work. Then you have people like, I had enough to get me through 2 months and I was going to come there and figure it out. Like, period. I know a lot of people like that. I was one of those people. Yes, I had some money in my savings account. You know, I looked up apartment prices and I'm like, okay, this is how much I can afford for a month. This will get me through 6 months. This will get me through a year, whatever. But y'all, I really had no plans. I had no plans. I had booked an Airbnb for a week. That's all. That's all I had. An Airbnb for a week. And here I am. Okay? So, yes, that's all my advice. But I'm Alexis. She.just.left on Instagram. Follow your girl. And I hope this was helpful. Let's all hang in there. I know this is just so hard. I know all of this sucks, but just use this time to focus on you, get creative. Just, y'all, I'm praying for us. Bye, y'all.